We return now as we continue to identify various lifting and moving equipment and discuss various inspection procedures. We begin with wire rope slings. Any sling that is damaged or considered unsafe will be destroyed upon the instruction of a sling inspector. Before using any wire rope sling, check that there are no more than 6 broken outer wires visible. Check that no parts of the sling have been worn to below 90% of its normal diameter. Check that there is no sign of severe rusting or pitting. Check the area of both eyes for any visible damage or wear. Make sure that there are no kinks or knots along the length of the sling. Select a sling of suitable length. Never tie slings together to gain extra length. Always check a sling's safe mass load or safe working load, and never load a sling above its rated figure. With chain slings, carefully examine each link and fitting for wear, cracks, severe rusting, and for pitting before you use them. We next turn our attention to a piece of lifting equipment commonly known as a chain block. You will notice that chain blocks are rated to lift a specific maximum load. This rating is clearly marked upon every unit and should never be exceeded. The main parts of a typical chain block are an attaching hook, the main body which contains the working mechanism, the lifting chain to which the lifting hook is attached, and a messenger chain used to rotate the lift mechanism and thereby lift or lower the load. Chain blocks are usually suspended under a sturdy overhead beam by means of a beam clamp or a heavy wire rope sling. Before use, ensure that both hooks have safety latches fitted. Check each hook for distortion or stretching. 3 equally spaced pop marks are used as indicators. Measure between the marks. If the distances are not equal, then the hook is stretched and therefore dangerous to use. A careful inspection of the lift chain is made, link by link, checking for damage or signs of severe rusting, pitting, cracks, stretching, or any condition that could weaken the chain. Next, we discuss the snatch block, a piece of equipment used together with other lifting equipment. For example, during a lift that requires extra leverage or a side pull. A typical snatch block will have an attaching hook or a ring, a closed side, and a detachable side for rope access. A freely rotating sheave wheel is supported between the side plates. Before use, all major components should be checked, including the hook. The sheave wheel is checked for free turning clearance between the side plates and for any damage, such as chipping in the groove. The detachable side plate should move freely and lock securely into position. Next we see the so-called turfer or cable puller, which is another useful aid in lifting or moving loads. The unit consists of a main body, a wire rope and hook, a securing bolt and pin, a working handle, a forward lever, and a reverse lever, and a rope locking device. To fit a rope, the rope locking device is set to the unlocked position, and the rope pushed through the rope guide until it emerges through the back of the main body. The locking device is then set to the locked position. Note that only rope recommended by the manufacturer should be used in a turfer. Prior to use, The rope and hook should be examined for any wear or damage. Ensure that all fasteners are secure on the main body. Ensure that the cable is firmly held by the cable locking device. Check that both the forward and reverse levers move the rope in each direction. And then check that the securing bolt and pin operate correctly. We now turn our attention to an overhead crane, a common piece of equipment in larger workshops or plant areas where loads are frequently lifted and moved to any position across the floor area. Normally and legally, only a trained operator may use, or rather operate, an overhead crane, as strict laws apply to such equipment. Certain checks, however, are usually made by the slinger. These include an inspection of the electric cable and related control units. The overwind trip should be tested, as should the underwind trip. A visual inspection of the hook, sheave wheels, and wire cables should also be made to ensure that they're in good and safe condition. Stop the tape now for your next discussion and practical task, which will be given by your course controller.